Yo, what is up, Sex Beast? Crazy Rabbit here, and today I got a cool theory for you guys, and this theory could possibly change zombies as we know it if it's true, but you guys know me and I like to dive way too deep into things, and sometimes I like to look for meanings that aren't even there, so basically I'm like your high school English teacher. But I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys a theory, and I'm going to show you guys a bunch of evidence to support this theory, and then you guys can decide for yourself if I'm right and or wrong. So let's go and get this shit started. So basically the theory is that I think there's a stronger power inside the pyramid, inside the MPD on the moon. I think there's a stronger power in that pyramid that we just don't know about yet. I do think Samantha knows about it, and I think that it actually tried to take over Sam, but I think she was able to fight back for some time, and then eventually when Richtofen took over the pyramid, I think it was going to try to take over Richtofen, but since we destroyed the Earth, which weakened Richtofen's power, it might have also weakened whatever this evil power inside the MPD was, so it probably weakened this evil power, therefore it wasn't able to take over Richtofen or Maxis. But once you actually do all the Easter eggs in Black Ops 2, this thing actually gets full power, so it really doesn't matter who you chose, Maxis or Richtofen, this evil power actually gets full power, and it takes over everything. So what is this thing looking to accomplish? I really don't know. I haven't really figured that one out yet. How do I know Sam knows about it? Mainly from Easter egg songs and this quote on Moon. So I'll let you guys listen to this one quote that you actually get when you're doing the Moon Easter egg from Samantha.
The blackness will swallow your pride. Something far more terrible than you lies here.
So she says, the blackness will swallow your pride. Something far more terrible than you lies here. Now what could that mean? For the longest time, I just sort of ignored it and just thought, oh, she's just trying to get Richtofen from entering the pyramid. But what if she's actually right? What if something far more evil than Richtofen or any of us could ever imagine actually is inside the MPD? And only, of course, only she would know about it because she's the only one that's ever really been in there. And when she says the blackness will swallow your pride, she might actually just mean this evil power is just going to completely take over you. Doesn't matter how much pride, doesn't matter what you feel about yourself, this thing's actually going to be able to take over you because it is so freaking strong. So now if we go back to Ascension and we listen to Abracadaver, I think that's when Samantha first started noticing that there's something wrong, that something's actually in this pyramid and that something's actually trying to take over. So if we actually listen to the first part of the song with the riddles, it says, I can fly like a bird not in the sky, which can always swim and always dry. I say goodbye at night and morning high. I'm part of you, what am I? That's obviously a shadow. A shadow is always going to be with you, and of course that would sort of make a little bit sense if there's an evil power inside the pyramid that's trying to take over Sam. It's always a part of Sam, it's always there, it's always following her, it's always going to be right there behind her, it's basically becoming a part of her. And then if we keep going down a couple times, we see, are they real and do they feel? Is all the pain just inside my head? It's all inside my head, it's just inside my head, it's all inside my head, they're all inside my head. I see them always, but they're all inside my head, all inside my head, they're all inside my head. So she's basically trying to, just tell herself that this isn't real. Whatever this evil power is that I'm feeling or sensing, that it's not real, it's just inside my head, my mind's playing tricks on me, that this thing isn't really trying to take over me. And then if we skip down a little bit more, it says, I can't give in, I won't give in, it's not a state of mind, I'm wretched, but I'm powerful. So I think that's what she's sort of saying, that this evil thing's not going to take over. I'm not going to give up, I'm going to fight, I'm not going to sort of give up to this evil power. And then she says, I don't feel like I am real, but I know it's all imaginary. And again, that's sort of the same thing as she doesn't really feel like she's in charge anymore. She doesn't feel like she's herself anymore, but she's trying to, reason with herself. I'm just saying it's all inside my head. It's just imaginary. It's not real. It's not really happening. And the whole sort of premise of the song is just her sort of going back and forth saying that, is this really right? Is this really happening? Is this all just inside my head? Am I doing all this evilness? Is this all really happening? And this is all just speculation. No one really knows exactly what the song means except for the people that write it. So this is just my interpretation of the song, is that she's sort of having this battle with this evil presence that she's just acknowledging, and she's basically trying to say, this is all inside my head, this isn't real, this is just imaginary, there's nothing else inside this pyramid, it's just me. And she's trying to sort of give excuses for what she's feeling. And you can just tell by the song that she's sort of really paranoid about this thing, because she constantly repeats that it's all inside my head, it's just inside my head. And that's sort of something a crazy person would say if they hear like another voice, or like when crazy people hear voices, that they say it's inside their head, that nobody else can hear it, but only they can hear it, that they can only hear that certain special voice that's just inside their head. So that's sort of what Samantha's going through. She's finally acknowledging that there's another evil power in there, and she's sort of trying to fight back for it. So now if we go to Shangri-La, that's when I think this evil power is really starting to take over Sam. I think that's when Sam's, finally acknowledged that there's something else in here. And I think this evil power actually gives Sam a glimpse of the future, because if we go to Pareidolia, the song for Shangri-La, it says, the lines, they've been burned in my mind. Of course, what were the lines that they've been burned in my mind? I think that means the future has been burned in my mind. I can see the future, I know what's going to happen, and I don't think she can do anything really to stop the future from happening. I think she just can see what's going to happen. Before I start talking more in depth about that, I'm going to say that for the next theory video that I have, that's going to be even bigger than this one. But so let's start with Pareidolia. The first part of the song is, I see them staring back at me, they know my name, the faces in the sky are looking for something more, my friends have paper smiles and laugh at me in all my trials. So I see them staring back at me, they know my name, the faces in the sky are looking for something more. The faces in the sky, of course, I would reference to something all-powerful like a god, because like a god would live in the sky. So something all-powerful. My friends have paper smiles and laugh at me in all my trials. Paper smiles would probably mean like a fake smile. Somebody would give you like a fake smile, you'd say like a paper smile. I've never heard that expression. That's sort of just what I'm thinking that means. It's like a fake smile. And they laugh at me in all my trials. They're making fun of you at everything you do. They're just taunting you. They know you can't do anything. They're just making fun of you. Their eyes are everywhere and see everything. Of course, you know, if something else is inside the pyramid, they can constantly see Sam. They constantly know what Sam's doing. They're just waiting for their time to when Sam lets their guard down, and they can eventually take over. And then if we go down a little bit longer, she says, the loneliness is only missed when I am alone. So I tried forever to figure out what this exactly means, and I think I eventually figured out that this is actually sort of impossible. You can never miss the loneliness when you are alone, so I think this is sort of just telling us that Sam's not alone. I think this is sort of like a double negative, and I think it's basically saying that Sam isn't alone. She's not alone in the pyramid. She can never miss the loneliness because she's never alone. And then if we go down to the awesome part where the Elena segment rhymes a lot, and I just, I've actually finally been able to do this, where she says, I might try to find my light tonight, hide my sight from eyes I try to fight. My 9 eyes of light die by the blight. Ride white knight, unite my plight tonight. I'm fucking awesome, dude. I got that. I think the first part, I might try to find my light tonight, is Sam saying, I'm going to try to figure out how to stop this. I'm going to try to find my own way. I'm going to try to figure out what I can do to stop this. I might try to find my light tonight is basically saying that I might try to figure out a way to stop this. I might try to figure out the good way to stop this, to end this, to make sure everything goes back to the way it was. Because when you sort of think about light, you sort of think about good things, the ending, like a good ending or something like that. Hide my sight from eyes I try to fight. She's basically trying to say that I don't want this other thing inside this pyramid, what I'm trying to fight, what I'm trying to keep from taking over, to know what I'm doing. She's going to hide her sight so that way this thing can't see what she sees, that this thing doesn't know what she's going to do next. She's basically trying to hide what she's trying to do from this other thing inside. My 9 eyes of light die by the blight. So I don't really know what the my 9 eyes of light mean. I've tried to figure out what this means, but I really couldn't figure it out. But by the blight sort of means it's dying by an infection. Something on the inside is, killing her. It's dying by infection. And of course, that would sort of, that would actually mean this evil power inside the pyramid is slowly taking her over from the inside. Blight actually means, like, I think an infection. It's slowly taking her over, and eventually it's going to spread to everything. So I don't really know what Ride White Knight, Unite My Plight tonight. A plight means like a dangerous situation that she's sort of in, and a white knight sort of like a savior. So maybe she's trying to say that she's trying to ask someone for help, maybe. Maybe that sort of hints to the Origins group. The Origins group would be the white knight, and the plight that she's actually in is this dangerous situation that she's actually in. Maybe this is sort of like a reference that she's going to ask the Origins group for help. This could just be me totally looking way too far deep into this. Always remember that, guys, that I tend to look way too deep into things, and that's probably what I'm doing right now. But the next couple lyrics of the song are, they're inside me, of course. This evil presence that's actually inside the pyramid is inside of her. It's slowly taking her over. I'm inside out, which would basically mean that she's no longer herself on the inside. So this would sort of be like if you saw a pretty girl, but she has a terrible personality. That's sort of what it is. On the outside, it looks like Samantha, but on the inside, it's not really Samantha. They're all around, which means this evil presence is constantly around her. It's always with her, within, without. Which basically means that inside of Samantha, it's not Samantha anymore. It's this evil power. They're inside, I'm outside. This evil power is inside Sam, and it's basically just Sam's body. She's no longer really in power anymore. They're all around. Of course, this evil power is constantly near Sam. It's always on her. Then it just sort of keeps repeating itself. So I think Pareidolia is basically saying that this evil power is finally starting to overpower Sam, and Sam's basically like, I'm gonna come up with a plan to stop this. I need to figure out a way to stop all this. I think this is sort of when she figures out what she's gonna do and how she's gonna stop this, because like we saw before, she says these lines have been burned in my mind, and it also says it all ends so violently, I know, it all ends so painfully and slow. I think she knows the future, and I think she's gonna actually start to figure out a way to stop this. And another piece of evidence that actually supports that there might be an evil power in there is if we go to the Giant trailer, we actually listen to this little audio clip from Nikolai.
A great evil approaches. There is a chain of events that must be set in motion.
He says, a great evil approaches. There are a chain of events that must be set in motion. Now, if he was talking about like Richtofen going inside the pyramid, I feel like he would have chosen a different set of words. Like, if he was talking about Richtofen taking over power, or at least Samantha taking over power, I feel like, again, he would have chosen a different set of words, or he would have just straight out shot him. So I feel like they might have wanted Richtofen. They might have wanted him to do something else or something different. Because if that great evil that was approaching was just Richtofen or Maxis getting inside the pyramid, then wouldn't they just have shot him? Or wouldn't they just have worded that a little bit differently? Because that doesn't really seem like they're trying to warn him of him being the great evil. So I think this is sort of hinting to us that there's actually a great evil approaching. That there's actually this thing that's inside the MPD, whatever this evil power is actually on its way, and it's actually going to take over and maybe destroy the universe, destroy the Earth. I really don't know what its goal is. That's the one thing I can't figure out, is what exactly is this thing trying to accomplish? Is it trying to become like a god? Is it trying to do whatever it wants? That's really the one thing I can't really figure out. So just to wrap it up real quick, I think there is another power inside the pyramid, and I think Samantha knows about it. She was able to fight it off for some time, but now Richtofen's in the pyramid, so this power tries to take over Richtofen, and then whoever wins the battle versus Richtofen or Maxis, I think this power is going to take over them. Now just remember, this is all theory and speculation. None of this is actually true unless we actually get it proven to be true. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and if you guys could, please leave a like and subscribe when they're ready. Peace.
Ha 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 ha!